We will be logging into the console. So guys, as per the last day, which topic we have covered, and what about today? So if you all can hear me, I'll just try to bring your focus on the pending topics which we are going to cover today. So those topics will come under our today agenda. And today agenda is really important, guys. It's like um, uh, very important with respect to this training program. So first thing which we are going to learn here is placement group, and second thing will be your key pair, and third will be your elastic network interface. Elastic network interface. These three things is pending into the network and security. Next, we will be starting with the load balancer. Load balancer. So, guys, these all are the agenda of the day. Before the break, we will try to complete this part. After the break, we will start the load balancer. And once we will complete the load balancer today, tomorrow we will be having only one topic which will be pending from EC2, that will be your auto scaling, and we will complete it tomorrow so that you can auto scaling and types of purchasing options, right? So everything will get complete. So let's start with the placement group, guys. The topic which you are going to learn now is placement group. I hope it is visible to you all under the network and security. The third option, right?
Yes, sir.
So, what exactly the placement group, guys? Let's start from here. What exactly the placement group? So, if you remember, as per the discussion, we have gone through multiple thing, and placement group is one of the important factor. So uh, let's get the name. When it is coming placement is all about how you are placing your instances, how you are placing your instance data center in data center. So if you need to place your instance in data center, guys, so let's say how what is your purpose of placing, and second thing, what all are the outcome you are getting. Means if I'll tell you what exactly the placement group is a group. Placement group is a group. As per the advantage of grouping, we will be placing our instance in the data center, or you can say placement group is something called placing our instances in data center. How do we place our instance into data center? So if you see further, about the placement group, so guys, placement group is of three type. Placement group is of three type. Let's say here if I write placement group, in placement group is of three type, right? So the first one is your cluster cluster placement group, and second one is your partition partition placement group, and third one is spread placement group. So in short, if you need to write, just cluster PZ, PZ stand for placement group, partition PZ, and spread PZ, spread PZ, placement group. So placement group is of three types. How to place your instance in AWS data center? For that, there is a three grouping concept that has been given to you. Now, how you will understand this grouping? What is the cluster placement group, partition placement group, and spread placement group? As per your understanding, if I'll tell you, if you will learn the purpose of the grouping, use case of the grouping, along with that, if you will see the limitation, if you see the limitation, guys, these three point, purpose, use case, limitation, will define what is the use of cluster, partition, and spread placement group. It is very simple to understand. Placement group is nothing but how to place your instances in AWS data center. There are three types of placement group. We do have cluster placement group, partition placement group, spread placement group. The purpose which we are going to learn, purpose, use case, limitations of each one we will be learning. So here we will start with the first one, which is cluster one. So whenever we are talking about cluster partition cluster placement group, now under this we need to understand the purpose of it, we need to understand the use case of it, and limitations you need to understand parallelly. Limitation, these all are the three important point. If you understand, you will have a clarity on uh, what is cluster. So guys, please remember, when we are talking about clustering is all about, let's say, clustering is all about keeping your virtual machines in a single availability zone. Let's say this is your one virtual machine, right? This is your second virtual machine. That both virtual machine you are keeping in a single availability zone. Single availability zone. If you keep it in a single availability zone, it means that the the communication between a first instance to second instance will be very fast. The first thing we will be calling it, they will be connected with the low latency because they are into the same availability zone, and the bandwidth will be very high. Bandwidth will be very high bandwidth you will be getting, because within a single availability zone you are going to place your virtual machine. You are going to place your virtual machine within a single availability zone, right? You are not keeping your one machine in another availability zone, another machine into another availability zone, like not like that. You have to keep your machines in a single availability zone, then only your machines will get low latency and high bandwidth. High bandwidth means high speed, and low latency means low delay you will be getting, right? So the purpose of cluster is clear, guys. Purpose of cluster is clear to everybody.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And what is the use case? Let's say if you need to do the node to node communication, node to node communication means VM to VM, network interface to another network interface. If you need to do communication, then you will be using this one. That is your use case. In second use case, let's say if you do have high performance computing, we used to call in short HPC, high performance computing. That in
Sir,
that
your
case,
voice is breaking.
is it?
Yes, sir. Breaking.
Now can you hear me? Is it breaking now, guys? It's clear, right? So when we talk about the use case, like when in which case you are going to use a cluster placement group, if you do have node to node communication, or if you do have high what do we call HPC, high processing computing. High processing computing. Again, it's breaking, guys. Again, it's breaking. Can you hear me? Maybe just because of internet, you know. Maybe it's just because of internet. Okay, let me stop it. Now, now am I audible? Guys, can you all hear me?
Yes, sir. Audible.
Okay, so let's start now. So I was telling about the purpose is to provide you the low latency and high bandwidth. The use case is if you need node to node communication, or if you need high performance computing, if you need that time, you will be using a cluster placement group. And if you are using, you know, the machine learning concepts in both of the machine are data analytics concepts. So in that case, you know, data analytics concepts, in that case you are going to use the cluster placement group. Understand, guys? The purpose and use case is clear to everybody? Purpose and use case is clear to everybody? And the limitations will be like when you will see inside the types of instance. So under this you will be using only compute optimized instances. You are going to use compute optimized instances, you are going to use, or memory optimize, you can use memory optimize. If you all can hear me, can you please confirm once?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
cluster placement group means the purpose is to provide the low latency and high bandwidth. That's why we are keeping into a single availability zone. In the use case, if you need to do the node to node communication, like your interface to interface communication, then you will be using, either you will be using for performing high performance computing HPC, that time you will use cluster, or if you are doing some machine learning or data analytics project, that time you will be using cluster placement group. The limitation is the instance type means compute optimized, where you will be having good computing power, that you will be able to use under the clustering. And if you do have good memory, if you are creating a virtual machine where you are getting good memory, that instance you can use. Either you can use compute optimize, where you will be getting high processing power, and memory optimize, where you will be getting high RAM. These type of instances you can use under the clustering. Is it clear now to everybody when to use this, guys? Is
Yes,
it
sir.
clear to everybody? Perfect.
Yes, sir.
Next example, our next type of placement group will be your partition placement group. The next one is partition placement group. Three we do have. First, we have seen when we are keeping the machines in a single availability zone for the purpose of node to node communication for HPC, high performing computing, or if you do have the use case related to machine learning or data analytics, that time we are using. In the third one which we have seen here is the limitations. There you can use only compute optimize and memory optimize machines or instance. Next, when we are moving up into the partition placement group, which is the second type of your placement group, here if you talk about the purpose and use case and limitation, these three we will be learning of each one. What is the purpose of partitioning, guys? Let's say partition means you can say we are going to divide. Let's say for example you are keeping your machine here. This is one machine here, VM1. This is another machine, VM2. The meaning of partition is logically you are dividing. Logically you are creating a two partition for two machine. If you do have three machine, so you will be creating three partition if you do have three machine. So here we do have two machines. It means that logically we will create a partition. Logical partition. It is a logical partition. And what is the purpose of logical partition? The purpose of logical partition is to run your machine on separate rack. This machine will run on the, let's say, rack number 1, and this machine will run on rack number 2. And rack number 1 power supply is different, rack number 2 power supply is different. Or you can say network, this is into different network and this is into different network. So partitioning means you are keeping into different network or different power supply. Let's say in data center you will be having multiple racks, guys. In data center you will be having multiple racks. In those racks you will be having different power supply for each rack. Let's say if you are using rack number 1, so rack number 1 is having different power supply, PS1. Rack number 2 is having different power supply, PS2. So if this power supply is not working, then the other one is working, and accordingly we are creating a logical partition. So what is the purpose of partition placement group? Is to create a logical partition where we will be using multiple racks. In all the racks will be having independent power supply or different network source. That is the purpose of using partition placement group. And then what is the use case, guys? Let's say if you do have distributed workload, if you have distributed workload, if you do have distributed workload, in that case you will be using the partition placement group. Like we do have something called HDFS, or we do have Kafka. You might be having, some of you might be aware about it, right? Like if you do have some kind of hardware failure system, so you will be able to come across that hardware failure, right? It means that if this hardware is getting failed, this is working. Like the same, that is the purpose, to avoid the single failure point, right? And the limitation here is you can span to multiple availability zone. And multiple availability zone should be in single region, you can say single region. multiple, it can span in multiple availability zone in the single region only. This is the limitations that we do have for partition. If you do have distributed workload, in that case you will be using partition. So one will be separate from the other one. If one will get fail, then the other one will come into the picture. This is nothing but partition placement group. The third one which we do have here is spread partition group. Spread partition group. Again, here you need to understand the purpose of it, and then use case, and the third is limitation. So what is the purpose of spread, guys? The purpose of it is spread. Now last time the purpose we have seen, partition should be there. Spread, not partition group, it's spread placement group, it should be placement group, spread placement group. In the spread placement group, how much is spread, how much spread you can, how much spread of resource you can do, that is your purpose. You can say the purpose will be your you can distribute instances. We are talking about instances, guys. Instances means we are talking about multiple virtual machine, multiple instance. You can distribute instances across multiple underline hardware rack for maximum fault tolerance, right? Wherever you can distribute. As you can see, the diagonal part which I have shown you, kind of, like this, it will be having one which we have seen before. Here we were having the fault domain. Here we were having the upgrade domain whenever we were learning the data center. So if you distribute like this, so how many number of maximum racks you can use? You can keep one machine here, one machine here, one machine here, one machine here, like that you can spread, right? So what will happen, this will show your machines has been distributed to achieve maximum fault tolerance. If this is not working, this one working, this 3 is not working, so at least one will be working, right? And the use case of it is for a small workload. If you do have a small workload, and that workload should also avoid simultaneously failure. Means if this is getting fail, this is getting fail, two machines are getting fail, or the racks are getting fail simultaneously. In that case, you will be using this spread partition, right? And how you are what is the limitation for it? What is the limitation for it? So the limitation, so maximum of 7 running instances per availability zone per placement group you can keep. Means if you are distributing your instance in different domains, fault domains and upgrade domains, in that case you will be having different availability zone as per different placement group. One availability zone in one placement group, another availability zone will another placement group, like that it will work. two machines will not be in a single availability zone, and that availability zone will not be the part of single placement group. It is all about what type of workload you do have and how you are going to distribute your workload, how you are going to distribute your workload. So these all are the three partitions that we have seen, guys. Sorry, placement group. So placement group, we have seen how to place the instance so that we can achieve some of benefits. So what all are the types, guys? Can anybody tell me now, one by one? The first one,
Cluster.
guys, can you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
How many types of placement group we do have?
Three types.
One is cluster, one is partition, and one is spread.
Partition and one is
Yeah, sorry, it
spread.
was mute, guys. It was mute. Sorry. Yeah, can you tell me now?
We have
Cluster,
three types.
partition, spread.
Three. First one is,
Cluster,
Cluster,
second one is,
partition,
partition,
third one is
spread.
spread. So
Spread.
now
spread.
spread. Now if you see,
Ah,
cluster means opening a single availability zone in keeping your machines here so that you will be getting very fast speed and data transfer. Partitioning means you are keeping one here and one here separate. You
close
will
mode.
separate. This is on different rack, this is on different rack, this is on different rack, this is on different rack. Spread means if this is your availability zone, this is one availability zone, this is one availability zone, like that 3 AZ we do have, AZ1, AZ2, AZ3. So one here, one here, one here, one, this will go into different placement group, this will into different placement group, this will be into different placement group. Like that it will work. And if I'll show you the some of pictures here, let's say, so that you will be having somewhat more clarity of it. AWS placement group. AWS placement groups. So which picture should we open? Let's see the first one. So are you able to see the this picture, guys? This one.
Yes, sir.
So if we see this in the cluster placement group, within a single cluster we are keeping all the instances within the same rack, availability zone, single availability zone, right? In partition means we have created multiple partitions within the same availability zone. Within the same availability zone we have created multiple partitions, and this will be having separate power supply, this will be having separate, and this will be having separate. Whenever we talk about spread placement group, as you can see, it is in different availability zone. We have distributed our virtual machines, different availability zone. We have distributed the virtual machine. Spread means how much you can spread, how much you can distribute, right? That is the case, that is the thing that you need to understand here. So whenever we are clicking on placement group, guys, see the placement group. If I click on placement group, so here it is telling us to create the placement group. If I give the name of placement group, let's say my placement group, and I want that the instances should be communicated with each other very fast. It means that I need to select here cluster strategy. We have to select, right? Cluster, spread, partition, both, all three are there, so we'll select cluster, and we can give a name of it also if we need. And we want it as a high performing computing, HPC purpose, high performance computing purpose. We can just create the group, right? We can just click here to create the group. It is not creating because we don't have the permission here, right? But if you will create in your account, you will be able to create it. And let's suppose here if you go back to EC2 instance, and if you click here to launch instances, so if you scroll it down after selecting all these options, if you go to the advanced detail, here you can find out the option of placement group, in which placement group you are going to keep your instance. So here this is the option of keeping placement group. You can select your placement group from here. All right, so if we are not able to see these options guys here, so what we can do is I'll just try to in this lab here, and I'll try to show you in my account so that you all can understand. uh, Basically we don't have permission here guys, that's why it is showing error. Console login. Okay, log out. Sign into the console again, and we will be signing in by using the root account. Yes. Perfect. So here we go. See guys, see whatever it is not coming for you, it does not mean that you should not know. You should know it. Lab you cannot do, but still I am showing you so that easily you will be able to understand. So whenever we are going into EC2 instance, let's create the placement group first. So whenever we are creating the placement group, we will be giving up the name here. Let's say my placement group, and strategy, what strategy we will be selecting guys? It is cluster. Why? Because we want that the communication should be very fast, because if it is having a node to node communication, end to end communication, and it is used for HPC, high performing computing part. If you are using for machine learning, or if you are using for data analytics, so in that purpose, that is the purpose of using this cluster placement group. So here you can see now we are able to create this placement group. Now this placement group is available. Parallelly, if you create something else, let's say one more we are creating, my second placement group. In this I am just selecting here partition. In number of partition I am choosing 2, means one machine will be into the different partition, one machine will be into different partition, right? Like the same you will be able to keep it. So let's say here I can give the name, and I want that uh, uh, partition it should be, right? Partition means two different partition, and partition will be two different partition means one partition will be different from other partition, right? So we can create like this. And the last one is, it is partition 1, this is cluster 1. In the third placement group, if you will create here, again name third placement group, GP, and here we can select spread. So number of racks, as you can see, host are racks, no restrictions, we will be using racks. And here you can give the name N should be capital, and here you can give the value racks. in multiple racks you can distribute, right? In multiple racks you can distribute. So you can see now three strategy we have selected: cluster, partition, spread, as per the placement group, right? And here it is showing two partition, all the three has been created, but it does require a much more workload because the purpose of each placement group is different. So if I create a virtual machine here, let's say if I go to instances and if I launch one instance and if I give the name, let's say name of instance as a workload 1, let's say I'm just keeping workload 1. So this workload 1, I am selecting Windows here, Windows Server 2022 base. Mostly I will not create it, guys, just I am doing it for showing purpose. So let's say LMK is the key pair, this is the network setup, and here we will go into advanced. Under the advanced, right now we are not learning all the top options, we are going to check only the last option under this is placement group. Are you able to see this placement group, guys? For now placement group is visible to you all.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So here you can click on it and you can see your placement group. This is your third placement group, which is spread. Second placement group, which is partition. Third placement group is cluster. And you can see in each placement group, it is not showing shared, no, shared, no, shared, no. So that is again a purpose of placement group. Let's say if you are creating cluster, so you can keep one machine again here, you can create this machine, right? You can just create this machine, and the second machine also you can launch this machine, it will go into the placement group 1 in the cluster. In second machine if you create, that will also go into the same cluster. For example, let's say I will just try to create for you to understand. Let's say I'll select Amazon Linux this time. Amazon Linux, it will be having less charge. So I have selected Amazon Linux T2 micro key pair, everything is same, and I have selected a placement group. I launch instance, right? I will launch now just for you to understand. Launch is getting failed. The cluster placement group, see, this is not support T2 micro, guys. That is the limitations here. Specify a support instance type or change the placement group strategy and try again. So remember, guys, remember why it is not supporting. Anybody can answer here. What type of instance type it will support? Cluster. What type of instance it will support? The cluster.
Maybe T
Guys,
to small, sir.
compute optimize and memory optimize.
Memory optimization.
So it is not even compute optimize, memory optimize. That's why it is showing the error. Let's say edit configuration again, and if you change the placement group to partition, if we change it to partition and if we click to launch now, this will be launched because this will go into separate partition. In the next one, if you create, if next one if you go to create here again, let's say this is into US-based 2A, right? And next one if you are going to launch, and this is your workload 2, and here if you click advanced detail and then you will select your placement group again, see, we have partition now. So in that partition, one we have sent it already, and one more setups we can change and check it out. Edit in preference, if we made it here as a 2E, and now let's click on placement group to verify. So see, did you get the difference between all, guys? If you will select the same availability zone, you are getting three option. Means either you can keep into the cluster or partition or spread also. But if you select the different availability zone from here, I'm selecting different availability zone. This is US West 2A. Now I'm selecting US West 2D. If I'll select different availability zone, then you see the placement group, placement group is coming again because let's keep the C. A was there and D. A, B. Let's try with the B. And we need to refresh it once. Coming. So one we kept into another partition, and second we are keeping into the another partition, right? So two different partitions it will create. Number of partitions are two, so one will go in one partition, one will go in another partition, right? So this is how it will work, guys. This is how basically your uh, what do we say, placement groups work. And in the placement group, please remember one thing: the purpose and use case is really important. Purpose and use case is really important. Whether uh, what exactly the purpose of creating placement group we do have. So we can select this, we can go to the action, we can just delete one by one. One we have deleted, action. Second we have to delete here, and the last one we can delete. So if you understand the placement group, you can tell me that you understand, so that we can go to the key pair. Alright guys, key pair. Key pair is another feature under the EC2 instance. Guys, when we talk about key pair, so it will take only few minutes to understand key pair. My pen screen is visible to everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So whenever we talk about key, what is the purpose of key? If you have heard the cryptography before, guys, cryptography, it is the part of security. Security. And when we talk about cryptography, crypto means hidden. Graphy means text or picture. Graphy means text or picture, right? Hidden. Your data will be hide in behind the text or picture. Cryptography means hidden behind the text and picture. And under the cryptography, there is a feature called encryption. Encryption. Encryption is the process of converting the plain text to cipher text. Cipher text. Plain text will be readable and cipher text will be unreadable for any kind of user, right? Readable and unreadable. So what encryption will do, it will just convert your plain text into cipher text. Plain text you can read, but cipher text you cannot read. It is readable format plain text, and cipher is unreadable format. So this method of conversion is called as a encryption. The method of conversion is encryption. And if you need to convert, from normal text to cipher text, that time you will use a key. You will be using algorithm and key to convert normal text to cipher text. And that key basically we used to call uh, that key, let's suppose if you are using the same key, you need to understand as per the communication. Let's say there is a computer A and there is computer B. This is computer A, this is computer B. Now computer A is sending hello to computer B. Hello to computer B. Now A is using a key to encrypt this hello. Once A will send hello. Now this will convert into some other text, let's say dollar at the rate equal to plus 0 and slash, like that. Something will come, right? Unwanted, unreadable value will come. So user A will use a key to encrypt this hello message, and now it will get encrypted here. Now let's say the key name is key 1. The key name is key 1. Key name is key 1. And now B will get this message. He sent hello, but B is getting something else. So A will share this key also. A will share this key also to B. Key 1. It will come to B also. Now B will decrypt this data. B will decrypt this data, and B, once it will decrypt, then B will come to know it is nothing but it is only hello message. So from plain text to ciphertext is encryption, and from ciphertext to again plain text is decryption, you can say decryption. So what we are doing, if you are using a single key here, same key here, one key 1 and key 1 again, same key, if you are using same key to encrypt the data and also to decrypt the data, that type of encryption we used to call symmetric encryption. Symmetric encryption, right? But in the same, if you are using two different key, let's say this is key 1 and now the B is using key 2. If users are using two different key to decrypt and encrypt the data, then it will be considered as a asymmetric encryption. So if A is using a public key, to encrypt this data, at the same place B is using private key to decrypt the data, it means that both are encrypting and decrypting by using two different keys. It means that it is asymmetric encryption. And when we are learning about key pair, the key pair, guys, so key pair is the combination of public key plus private key. AWS used to keep this public key, and private key they used to share to the customer to encrypt the password. Understand, guys? So that's why we used to encrypt the password and we are able to log in into the virtual machine. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So
Sir,
if
what if we forget the, like we miss the decryption file, sir, like Q2?
if you forget the key pair, basically it is a file. So somehow it should be there in your laptop. If you forget, you cannot do anything because this is the security key of your system. You should not forget, you should keep it safe. And if you create a key pair, guys, as you can see, if you create a key pair, what this RSA ED25519, these all are the types of algorithm that we are using. Now here you can give the name of key pair, let's say whatever you want to whatever you want to use, you can just give the name. And there are two type of options that has been given: .pem and .ppk file. .pem and .ppk file, these all are the two types of file which you will be using with the Linux machines. If you need to use, see, basically .pem we are using for all the systems, and .ppk we are using the third party tool called Putty. If you need to connect your Linux machines, then you will be using putty in future, right? You will be using putty in future. The next option under this is network interfaces. Network interfaces. The last under the network and security. Network interface means in any computer, guys. See what exactly the network interface. Network, an elastic network interface is a logical networking component in the VPC that represent a virtual network card. It is the virtual network card of your virtual machine. It is the virtual network card of the virtual machine. Now in AWS network interface card, we are learning elastic network interface card. How it does work? Let's say you are creating a virtual machine, VM. So this virtual machine needs the network interface card also to connect with another network, so that you will do a deployment of network in future of something called VPC, virtual private cloud. It is the virtual network of your AWS. So here you will divide your network into two different parts. Let's say this will be your small network 1, this will be small network 2. Within this network, if you are getting, let's say, somewhat around 120 IP addresses, here you are again getting 120 IP address. So if you will create the ENI, a network interface card within this network, so one IP address from this 120 will be used by this ENI. Let's say if you are keeping 10.0.0.1, you can use here. So now it will be having only 119 IP address. If you are creating another machine, one another ENI you can use, and you can keep 10.0.0.0.2. Or if you are creating a machine where you want to use two different ENI, one ENI you can use 10.0.0.3, in this you can use 10.0.0.4. Like the same, from your network only these IP addresses will go. So from this 124 we have used, it means that remaining 116 it will be having. So like the same, your network interface card will take one IP address from your subnet or from your network, and the purpose of network interface card is to communicate from one computer to another computer or one network to another network. So if you create a network interface, guys, so here let's say if you give my ENI, if you are keeping my ENI, now you have to select the subnet, and these subnets comes under the default network. Let's say you select this subnet, and private IP address automatically you want to assign, or you want to give a custom IP address. So manually you will be able to give the IP address to this manually you will be able to give the IP address to this ENI, means elastic network interface, and we will be able to give the private IP address. Private IP address, how exactly it will look like? Let's say if you go to VPC in future, these all things you will be learning, guys. In future under the networking, everything you will learn. So this is the VPC. This VPC we are using, this is the IP address range 172.31.0.0/16. Out of it, we do have four subnet. We do have four subnet, and these four subnet will be in different availability zone. This is into 2A, 2B, 2C, and 2D. Let's say if you want to keep your machine into US West 2A, so what will be the IP address range of US West 2A? US West 2A IP address range is 172.31. This is the IP address range basically we are using here, right? I'll copy this range. I'll copy this from here, and 31 172.31 right? So now if you bring to the network interface again to keep the same IP address here, network interface, I'll create it once again, and I'll give the name my ENI elastic network interface subnet. If I select 2A, so it is telling us a custom IP address, so we can keep 172 dot 172 dot 31 dot 16 dot, let's say 5 or 6. Simply you can keep this IP 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever you want, you can keep. Or if you want to click on auto assign, it will take one IP address from the same range, and you can create this network interface. And later on the same network, it does required a security group, so you can select a security group. You can create this network interface, and later on the same network interface you can associate with your virtual machine. So while launching a virtual machine, if you launch this virtual machine from here, you can give the name of your VM, and you can select your AMI, you can select your type of instance, you can select your key pair. Under this network settings, if you edit, you will go to the VPC, you will select your subnet as a US-based 2A. Auto assign public IP is enable, and uh, security group name SSH. Advanced network configuration. Here into this, you will be able to add the network interface. If you search here, this is the network interface which we have created. So if we need to add that network interface, we can click here and we can add here. So it is telling us you can't select a separate security group, so we can just go back, and uh, these all are the setups that somewhat we need to modify, guys, and later on it will start working out. So here you can't select a security group and select an existing network interface. Okay, then we will remove this, and security group already it has been selected with this network interface, and you can create the instance. So if you create the instance, it means that separately network interface you are adding. And the network interface you can add anytime, it's not a big deal. Once you create the machine, you can add the network interface anytime. So in short, if I tell you, in any machine, in any computer, or in any virtual machine, in any computer or virtual machine, we are having two different IP address. One we do have public IP address, and one we do have private IP address. By using public IP address globally, you can connect to others one, or other can also connect to you. Others can also connect to you. Means from the internet, from the internet, from the internet it is reachable. Public IP address is reachable from the internet, whereas private IP address is not reachable from the internet. Means nobody can reach to your private IP from the internet. So whenever we are adding up the ENI, elastic network interface, it means that we are giving a private IP address, right? But if you need to give the public IP address, you will use the elastic IP. If you can remember, elastic IP you can use for public IP, and if you need to use private IP, then you can use the network interface card. Is it clear, guys? Is it clear to everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So after this, guys, after this, we will be moving up to the next part, which is the load balancer, right? Which is the load balancer. So I did not create anything into this account so far, but what will I do is next time once we will come, we will be using the different lab from restart itself, different lab from restart to understand the load balancer. Is that clear?
Okay, sir. Which lab, sir?
Okay.
I'll tell you the lab number. Once after the break, I'll tell you the lab number. Okay.
Okay.
We will start this lab from we'll start the lab from the restart only, and we'll try to perform the work in the same lab, and we'll try to understand the load balancer, how the load balancer works. Now this facebook.com you are using, and if you are coming to facebook.com, it means that this is your server. You are coming to this server. Now this server is not able to respond to this 1 million traffic. This server is not enough strong to respond to this 1 million traffic. So what will you do is you will keep one another virtual machine or somewhat more virtual machine you will keep, let's say VM2. So what will happen? If 1 million per second traffic is coming now, so this traffic will distribute it now. Let's say 3 machine is there. So 1 by 3 traffic will come here, 1 by 3 traffic will come here, 1 by 3 traffic will come here. If it is 2 machines, so 50% traffic will come here, 50% traffic will come here. So how exactly it is balancing? Whatever the loads you are carrying, the traffic is your load now. The load which are coming to your machine, now it will come to 2 different machine, and you will try to balance the load. It means that technically, what will be the meaning of it? Technically machines will be multiple. Your domain DNS will be one only, www.facebook.com. This is your domain. Your domain will be only one. All the traffic will come to this domain only, but in between of it you will be having a load balancer. So all the traffic will go to the load balancer. Further, this load balancer will distribute the traffic. The load balancer will balance the incoming traffic. It will distribute the incoming traffic. If I show you the same picture in different way, you will be having much more clarity. Let's say this is your load balancer. This is your VM1, this is your VM2, right? This is VM2, this is VM1, and this is your let's say domain, right? Considering example.com, www.example.com. This is your domain. Now all the traffic is coming to this domain. It means that it is going to the load balancer. Now load balancer is responsible to distribute the traffic to 2 different machines. So let's suppose there are multiple features of load balancer here. If let's suppose VM1 is not working, so it will send all the traffic to VM2. In the load balancer itself, there will be something called health check of load balancer will check whether the resources, means this VM and this VM, both are healthy or not. If it is unhealthy, the load balancer will send all the traffic to VM2. Once it will become healthy, then as per your setup 3 to 4, you can try 3 requests or 4 requests, and if it is working, again all the traffic will start moving, 50% here, 50% here. So what exactly the load balancer is doing? Load balancer is balancing your traffic. It means that in front side you are able to see this domain, but in back end you are not able to know whether it is responding from server 1 or it is responding from server 2. But you are getting the response. But in the backend there will be multiple server. If this web server web page, if I keep identical, let's say if you are keeping the IP address of this machine 10.1.1.2, and here you are using, let's say 20.1.2.3, this IP address page and this IP address page, if you keep same, so what will happen? You will not come to know whether this is responding from this server or this server. But here if you change this one and if you change this one, so on the same URL, on the same URL or your domain, you will come to know whether it is responding to this VM1 or VM2. This is the concept of load balancer, guys, right? It will balance the traffic. Along with that, it will check the health of the target. What all are the targets that you do have? Is it clear, guys? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So if you go in the lab, guys, if you go in the lab, which lab we are doing 174 now. So in the load balancer, there are few things which are really important to know. So I'll bring you directly into EC2 console so that you can see what all are the, you know, what all are the options which we are going to see into the load balancer. So there are two specifically. Trust store is added later on, we'll see it later on, but these two topic, load balancer and target group, load balancer and target group. So guys, when we are talking about load balancer and target group, two things are there. Load balancer, sorry, let me change this thickness, if we can increase somewhat here. So when we talk about load balancer, guys, so think, what do you need basically? You need a virtual machine here, 1 VM with the server, means web server, 1 VM you need here with the web server, and along with that you will be creating a load balancer, and this will give one URL. URL will be nothing but your domain, right? All the traffic will come to this URL. In this load balancer, further it will distribute the traffic to these two different virtual machine, 50% here, 50% here. Now what is your actual target? Where is the data? Data is on server. So what you will do is, first of all, you will combine this virtual machine in a group where the load balancer will distribute the data. This you are combining. In this combined solution, you will be calling it as a target group. This is nothing but your target group. Let's say if you are keeping 4 virtual machine, 1 2 3 4 5, and here you are using a load balancer, so traffic will be distributed like this. So now this 5 you have to keep into the target group. If you keep into the target group, now your load balancer will target this group and it will equally distribute the traffic to each instance. Now do not think only we are able to balance the load of instances. It is not only instance. If you do have storage, if you do have network, you can balance multiple type of load here by using the load balancer. So what exactly the load balancer is? So guys, load balancer is used to balance the incoming traffic, balance or distribute the incoming traffic to the targeted virtual machines, right? This is the load balancer. Now how many types of load balancer we do have? So initially there was a load balancer which was coming, classic load balancer. It is very old load balancer. Now there are 3 type of load balancer which we are getting right now. So the first one is your application load balancer. Second load balancer is your network load balancer. Third load balancer is your gateway load balancer. Remember, application works on HTTP and HTTPS. If you need to balance the traffic of application, if you need to balance the traffic of your application, it means that you will be using application load balancer, which will be balancing the traffic of HTTP and HTTPS. If you are using HTTPS, it means that here you will be using what do we call SSL layer, SSL you will be using, right? The secured one, secured communication. And when it comes to network load balancer, it will work on the third and fourth layer, which is your network and transport layer. And this will be working on TCP and UDP protocol. And here it is all about balancing the network traffic. If you need to balance the network traffic, then you will use the network load balancer. And the third one is gateway load balancer. If you are using third party appliance, if you are using third party appliance, for example, third party appliance, let's take an example of any firewall. Let's say Palo Alto is a firewall. You know, appliance means firewall also come as a hardware, guys. Firewall also come as a hardware and software. So when we are talking about appliance, means it is a hardware. So if you need to balance the traffic to the third party appliances by using AWS, then you will be using gateway load balancer. So these all are the three load balancers we do have. Now out of it, for now we have gone through the EC2, so we will be using application load balancer. Right? In load balancer, there are three things which are really important to understand. The first is target group. It is a group, or it is the group of resource where the traffic will directed, means all the traffic will go to this resource only. That resource you will be keeping in a group, that is target group. Second is health check. This will check the status of healthy and unhealthy targets. If the target is healthy or unhealthy target, it will check who will check? Health status will check, or health check will check. The third is listener. Listener means your load balancer. How your load balancer is listening. Let's suppose this is your VM1, this is your VM2. Here it is the load balancer, and this has been connected here to distribute the traffic. Now if traffic is coming here, traffic is coming here, and load balancer is here. Now load balancer will listen of these machines. Let's say whether this is your HTTP is enabled, in between of load balancer and virtual machine. Then only this will be able to listen. VM will be able to listen the load balancer. If it is not, so website request, it will not listen. So if you do this setups, if you perform one small lab, you will be able to understand the purpose of all these load balancer kind of things. Okay, so let's perform the lab. So I'll set up my screen, if you guys can see it again, and we will perform this lab now. Lab number 174. My screen is visible to you all?
Yes, sir.
So the first thing, we need to create the instance, guys. So there is one instance which is running already here, but we are not going to do anything with this instance because we are learning through different approach, but we will try to create a new machine, right? And let's say we will be keeping our machine name as a A1, application 1, and we will select the Windows machine here, and Windows Server 2022 base. As we are creating the machine like the same we will create, it will become T2 micro. And here we can create a key pair. Let's create a key pair. Let's say the name of key will keep as a F1 and we'll create the key pair. And after that, we have to enter into the network setting. See, here in the lab, there is some permission issue. So we cannot use the default. So there is a lab VPC. There is a separate network that is made for this lab. Lab VPC. You have to use this VPC, lab VPC, right? Select the lab VPC and automatic one subnet is coming, private subnet 2. But our load balancer we should keep into public subnet because public traffic we need. Load balancer also you can use for local data balance or local traffic balance, and you can do it for global traffic balance. So you can use it in public subnet and private subnet both, but right now we are going to use with the public subnet. And the auto assign IP should be enabled. Auto assign IP should be enabled. And whenever you are creating a security group, so you will be writing app security group 1, app security group 1, and here we have added RDP, and we can add one more, that is your HTTP traffic we can add because we need to make a website, right? And no any other setups we need. I'll repeat from starting again, guys. I have given app1 name. I have selected Windows Server 2022 base. T2 micro came. Name app1 of your key. And VPC I have selected lab VPC. In subnet I have selected public subnet 1. Auto assign IP I made it available, right? Enable. So you will get the public IP address. Let's launch it. Let's see whether we are having permission to launch it or not. Okay, sorry. So here source we will be adding 0.0.0.0/0 and we will launch the machine. Let's see it is working or not working. Done, guys. Did you understand what I have done here? Guys,
One second, sir.
Guys,
Sir, I want to check 1 second.
see what I have done. I have just clicked on launch instances and I have given the name of machine as a app. One last time, this time I'm keeping app2. You need two machine. So app1 I have given already, app2 I am giving now. In Windows, I have selected Windows Server 2022 base. Windows Server 2022 base I have selected, and automatically it will become T2 micro, and then a key pair. You can use the same key pair for both of the machine, or you can create a different key pair, it's up to you. And you can edit this network setting. If you are creating machines, you have to select the lab VPC. This is the network which has been given to us to perform this lab. Now here when it comes to the subnet, last time for the first machine select public subnet 1, for the second machine select public subnet 2. For the first machine public subnet 1, for the second machine public subnet 2. And please make sure auto assign IP should be enabled for the both machines. And if you want to use the single security group for both of the machine, you can use, right? So I can select the existing security group, which is AppSG1. You can use application security group 1, and that's it. You can launch this machine. So again, we have created two different machines. Here you can see now app1 and app2. app1 and app2. These two machines I have created. Is it clear, guys?
So we need to excuse me, sir. We need to launch two servers, huh?
Two
Two
servers,
instance we need to create.
two instance we
Okay.
need to launch. And
Thank.
if you need to understand why we are doing two, so you can try to understand from here. That is, let's say if you are keeping VM1 here, so VM1 will be into public subnet 1, public subnet 1, and VM2 will be into public subnet 2, subnet 2. Are you are calling it as a app1 now, app1, and this is your app2, right? This one we have created in public subnet 1, this we have created into public subnet 2, right? It is having
Yes.
separate IP, this is having a separate public IP. Public IP we have to enable. Security group we have used the same. Security group, if you want you can use same or you can use different also. Done guys? Created the machines.
Yeah, creating the 1 minute.
So both machines will create. Guys, please remember one thing. When we are creating the machines, both should be having the public IP address. If you check the app1, app1 is having public IP address 52.41.58.8, and app2 is also having public IP address 34.2, right? Both are having public IP address. Now what we will do is we will try to connect first machine. So let's try to connect the first machine, app1. We'll click on connect and we'll go to RDP client and we will upload the key pair and we'll decrypt the password. App1 will open and we will decrypt the password now. After decrypting the password, we can just copy this password and download the remote desktop file. And we will open this, we will connect this machine guys. We'll connect and here we'll paste the password. We'll click on OK. The app1 machine, the first machine I am connecting. First machine I am connecting guys. The machine has been connected, right? Now again you have to install that same IIS server so that you can keep some website in the this machine 1. Like the same you can do with the machine 2 also, and later on after setting up the machine 1 and machine 2 we will create a target group and then load balancer. Alright, so here it has been connected now. It will be coming just within a few minutes, it will come up guys. Done guys. So we have to open the PowerShell here, Windows PowerShell, to install the IIS server, because we know how to install with the steps, right? So
System
here we will
manager.
be
Yes, sir.
installing with the commands. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, please tell me. Guys, please tell me if anybody is having any doubt what we are doing. This command I have given you in the chat box. You can use the same command also to install the IIS server. So we have to just keep this and we have to press enter. It will start installing. Right, in the machine 1 we are installing IIS web server. We can minimize now and we can go to machine 2 now. Under the instances, we can go to machine 2. The process is little bit longer because we are using Windows 1. If you could use Linux 1, the process will be quite simple and small. So here we go with the A2. Here we can click on connect, and we'll click on RDP, and we'll get the password again. Upload the private key file. Select the same key pair, and we'll decrypt the data. We'll copy the password. We'll download the remote desktop file, and we will connect the second machine also now. Both machines we will connect simultaneously to set up the web server, right? So that we will be able to set the load balancer proper. And this is your machine 2. And meanwhile, if you need to verify whether machine 1 has been done with the installation, so this is your machine 1. It is 84% has been done here, and let's open second one, and it will also work like the same. Wow, it came right. This is the second one. So in the second one, guys, app2, we will search here PowerShell, Windows PowerShell. We'll click on yes, and we'll click here. Here start, and we'll open with the PowerShell. This is our second machine, guys. This is our second machine. Okay, and here we can again paste. Sorry. We will paste the command to install this one. And here it is installing again. So machine 1, I guess it has been finished. Machine 2 is getting ready to install the IIS. So what will I do is I'll just bring you directly to the machine number 1. So in machine number 1, guys, in machine number 1, what will I do is IIS is done. Now if we need to test the web server, we can just create one we can just create a text, sorry, not like that. If we can open like this also, but we will open with the notepad, right? Let's create a page. Let's create a page, and under the notepad, that page will create under the notepad. So let's suppose here, if we write one line of HTML code to verify, let's say I'm writing one line of HTML code, HTML h1, and then I'll just type here, hey, this is app1 server responding. App1 server responding. And this web page, I'm going to close the header, and I'm just going to close HTML. This is the text. This is the text which I have added here. Now what will I do is I'll save this file, save as. If you need the same text, I just give you also in the chat box. So the same text you all can have, right? Now you can save it out, guys. You can save it. We will just click on file, save as, and we can save it as a index.html and as a all file. And the location, you should remember the location, guys. Location is really important. So we'll go to this PC, and under this PC there is internet public folder. In here www root is there. We have to just keep this index.html here, and that's it. Now if you go back to verify whether server 1, application 1 is working perfectly or not, so we'll go to instance 1, which are running right now. This is a little bit slow. Yeah. So this is your application 1. If you select application 1, it 1, you will get a public IP address. You can check whether server 1 is responding or not. Sorry. It is responding, guys. As you can see, hey, this is app1 server responding, right? Like the same, we will perform the same thing into server 2. Server 2 has also done the IIS installation. We'll close it, and we will again open a notepad. We'll open a notepad here, guys, in the second machine. Guys, are you listening or not?
Listening, sir. Yes, sir. Listening.
So here again I write the same HTML page. Sorry. I have shared in the chat box, so I can just copy again. And you know that this is not the server 1, guys. This is server 2. So here we can just write server 2, app 2. 2 means so many 2 if you want to write 2 to 2 like that, or just 2 is enough. Hey, this is app server 2, right? Or if you need to add something else, you can add. Like here you can add hello. So guys, if server 2 will respond, so here it will come app2, right? What we can do is we can save this file, save as again, and we can just go back to this PC and local disk C and inetpub in www root, and here we can just write index.html, and we will save it as all file. Save it. That's done. So we will, now the time is to verify the second machine. First machine is responding. Let's check the second machine now. Copy this IP and paste it beside. Both server is working, guys. As you can see, server 1, server 2, correct? Both are working, guys.
Sir, your voice is breaking.
Is it okay? We'll do one thing, guys. We'll do one thing. We will perform this lab tomorrow. Okay? And we'll start from tomorrow.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay? You guys are not even responding, and just because of audio problem, we'll do one thing. We will do the same lab tomorrow. Is it fine to everybody?
Yes,
Sure,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. And
Sir, I need recordings, sir.
and now it
Yes.
was about to take maximum 10 to 15 minutes more you get the output. If you need, I can show you the output in a minute. What you can do is directly you can just create a target group of both of the machine, because we have created already the machines and servers are ready. You can select the instances here, and here you can give the target group name. Let's say target one. We can give a name, http same. Here vpc you can select lab vpc. Health check is not there, we will move to the next. Here you can see your machines app1 and app2 you want to keep into your target group, and you can just create the target group.
ಹಾ
Okay,
ಇಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ.
and you can include as pending below, and you can create the target group. Once your target group is done,
ಓಕೆ ಬಂದ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಯಾವ್ದು ಇದಾ?
uh, once your target group will be done, here you can see healthy unhealthy, you can see. So it will take few more seconds to come up. It will become healthy, two machines will become healthy. Later on you can go to the load balancer, and you can just create a load balancer, and these all are the three type: application, network and gateway. So we have to create the application, and you can give the name of your load balancer. Let's say my elastic load balancer, my ELB. In internet facing it is in the VPC, as we all know lab VPC we are using, and subnet is your same 2A, public subnet 1, 2B, public subnet 2. This is what we have selected. So it should be public subnet 1 and public subnet 2. Security group, we had our own security group APSG1, and this is your listener. It will listen from this target group, and that's it. Here we go. Done. Your lab is done. Your load balancer is over now. Only now you have to verify
Sir,
your
your
load
voice is breaking
balancer
down.
is working or not. Guys, I'll repeat this lab tomorrow also. I'll repeat this lab tomorrow also. I'll repeat this lab tomorrow. Okay. Are you able to hear me? Are you able to
Yes,
hear
sir.
me, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So basically, load balancer is getting provision, so we can just refresh one to time. And if you create the load balancer, it will give you one DNS name also. Can you see this DNS name?
Yes, sir.
So now if you will use this DNS to access the website, then what will happen? Your both of the server will come to the same website. This is how you will be getting your traffic, right? It will be coming one by one. It is not coming just because now it is provisioning. So we can just wait for another 1 minute. It will start coming, because if you go back to check the target groups, you will verify your target whether it is healthy or unhealthy. So here we can refresh. It is initializing here. You can see, you can just refresh one more time, because both are healthy. We are able to see here, this is responding and this is again responding. 1 and 2 both is responding, means that the target is healthy, but it is taking some time to verify whether the target is healthy or not. Once it will verify the target, then you will go back to the load balancer again, and in the load balancer you will open load balancer, and you will refresh here to check whether status is provisioning or active. So if it will become active, you can just copy this DNS name from here, and you can paste it here. You can check whether it is responding or not. Wow, superb. It's coming, guys. Coming.
Yes, sir.
See, my ELB this. Which server is responding now?
App 1.
Server 1 or app 1. Just refresh or reload. server 1, refresh again, server 2, server 1, server 2, server 1, server 2. Getting the difference? It is balancing
Yes.
50-50%, right?
Yes, sir.
So there are somewhat more feature into the same that we'll be seeing tomorrow. But if let's suppose on the first server you are keeping the same web pages, in the same web pages you are keeping on the second server, so both will look identical. So if you open any website by using the URL, you will not come to know whether which server is responding from the backside. But here we have given two different name here, app2, app1. That's why we are able to identify which server is responding. Got it, guys? Got it?
Yes, sir.
Any doubt,
Yes.
anybody? This load balancer is easy, guys. But again, I'll try to repeat it tomorrow. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Alright, guys. So we are done for today, and thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, I need yesterday's recording, sir. Hello, sir.
Recordings, I guess you can get it by
Sir,
Harshvardhan.
without it, no, sir. Without it, I need yesterday's one because I missed class sometime.
Okay, Harsh. Yesterday one, I'll try to share. Give me some time. I'll try to share. Okay.
Okay.
All right. All right, guys. Thank you. Thank you
Okay,
so
thank you, sir.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Shall we end, guys, for today? Then.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.